So in our profile view, here we have a function go to edit profile, which we just print edit profile. And instead we want to do the segue. So I'm going to say perform segue and we're going to perform a segue from profile to edit segue, and sender is going to be self. So if we run the application now, we should be able to do our segue. As you can see, the information is loaded as well, and I can just go back to my view. So now we have our information, we have our logout button, we have the save button, and what we need to do is to implement the save button functionality so that our user can do the necessary changes. So let's go to our edit profile here, and inside my save button pressed, what we want to do is whenever our user is typing something, of course the keyboard is visible, so we want to dismiss the keyboard. So let's write a helper function for that, and say mark helper function, and call this private func dismiss keyboard. And basically here we say self.view.end editing force. We don't want to force, so we put false. So as soon as our user clicks on the save button, whatever we have, we are going to call dismiss keyboard first. Then we want to check if all three text fields have some kind of information inside of them. So we are going to create another helper function that is going to check and tell us if the text fields are empty or no. So say private func, and we check text fields have text, and this function returns a boolean, and we're going to return, and then we say name text field dot text is not equals to empty string, and surname text field dot text is not equals to empty string, and address text field dot text is not equals to empty string. So if all of this is correct, that's why we put inside the parentheses, then we're going to return true. Otherwise, we are going to return false. So in our save button, let's check if text fields have text, we are going to save. Otherwise, we are going to have our else statement, and we are going to show a notification to our user. So I'm going to say AUD dot text label dot text is equals, and we're going to say all fields are required, because our user may come and he can delete, let's say, address and then try to save, or he can delete the surname or last name, try to save it. Then we say AUD dot indicator view is equals to JG progress AUD error indicator view, and we want to show this, so we say AUD dot show in view, and it's going to be self dot view. And finally, we want to dismiss it in 2 seconds. So we say AUD dot dismiss after delay of 2 seconds. So this in case if our text fields are empty or not. So in case if the text fields have some kind of text in them, then we want to create our with values. So we say let with values, so these are the values that we are going to change, are equals, and this is a key value pair. So we want to change our k first name, and the new value is going to be our name text field dot text, and we can unwrap this. Then we say k last name, and the new value is surname text field dot text, unwrap it. Of course, we need to update our full name. So say k full name is, and the value is going to be our first name. So we say name text field dot text, unwrap this, plus empty space, plus our surname text field dot text, unwrap this, and finally our k full address is going to be our address text field dot text. So having our with values, we can call our update current user in Firestore, and here we are going to pass our with values, and then just hit enter and give our error variable a name. And here we are going to check for two things. First, if there was an error, we are going to present the error to the user. If there was no error, we are going to present information to the user that the update was successful. So let me just copy this part here. I'm going to say if error is equals to nil, it means we didn't have any error. Else there was an error, and we are going to present it to our user. So let's start from the error, and we need to put a self keyword in front of our AGD because this is being called in a completion block here. And instead of all fields are required, we want to show the error here. So we say error, unwrap this, localized description. And also I want to say print, and I want to print my error. So we say error updating user, and let's pass our error here, which is going to be error dot localized description. So we can save this in our console as well. Then if we didn't have any errors, I'm going to copy this, paste it here. And instead of AGD error indicator, we are going to say success, and the text is going to be updated. And that's it. Let's get rid of the empty lines here. And our function is ready. So we can actually test this if it works. Let me also bring up my Firestore here, so we see if our user information is being updated. So our local user is the one with the untitled@yahoo.com email. And let's change my address to my new address and click save. And you can see that full address was changed to my new address, which is showing that everything is working. I changed the name as well. The full name has changed. So let me just put it back. So everything is working. In our next lecture, we're going to focus on logging out our current user.